guys, so today I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial kind of look for you today. It's basically going to be me using all cream products. So I know that's pretty standard for foundations and concealers, but it's not so much for bronzers and highlighters necessarily. So I'm going to be using a cream based bronzer, a cream based highlighter, and also a cream eyeshadow as well. Now I think this look is so perfect for this time of year. That kind of spring summer transition gives you a really dewy kind of look to your face, and it's just really nice and natural. So I started filming this video and turns out I didn't press the record button. Now that means that you guys didn't get to see me put on my foundation, which is all I've done so far. And just to recap on what I didn't manage to film, I have these three foundations, and that is such, you know what, that is actually a recycling truck which is reversing down the side, and it's going to be really loud. Pipe down. So there was three foundations I was considering using. The first one I was considering using is the Revlon Colour Stay, and although this is quite, I'd say medium to heavy coverage, it still gives a really nice light kind of look to your skin. It's not too overpowering. And on a personal note, this is literally my exact skin tone, so I find I reach for this a lot more. Hey! Okay, he's gone now. Jesus. For those good skin days, I have the Garnier BB Cream, which is for oily to combination skin. This stuff is so good for good skin days, like I said, and also for a really nice natural dewy finish. I decided to go for my all-time favourite, and that is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light. Now I always get so many compliments when I use this for having really glowy skin. Everyone kind of mentions it, so I think this is probably perfect for this kind of look. To apply my foundation, I used the 102 brush by Zoeva, which is their silk finish brush. It's from their copper collection. I tend to flit between this and my beauty blender, but at the moment I'm using this a lot. Now I have three concealer products here, and I'm actually going to be using all of them for different areas on my face. The first one I have is the Maybelline Lumi Touch, which is my favourite kind of highlightery concealer. It's really light, really good for under eyes. The next is a new one for me, and it is the Maybelline Eraser Eye, and it's kind of like anti-aging, but it's perfect for the under eye area as well because it's so illuminating and is fantastic at covering those pesky bags. So I'm going to start off by using the Eraser Eye Perfect and Cover Concealer, and I'm just going to put that under my eyes. Now you have to kind of like twist the bottom bit, and then you literally just put it underneath your eye. I actually quite like this sort of fluffy end to it because it actually makes it less harsh to apply under your eyes. Do you ever find that those brushes that they have on concealers can be a little bit kind of grating, if you know what I mean? And I don't find they're that good for your under eye area because it's quite delicate. So I'm literally just going to be kind of blending that in, and I'm using my Zoeva concealer buffer, which just gives such a nice finish to concealer. It's really good at blending. I'm going to be quite light with that, to be honest, because it sets quite well into the skin, so you don't need too much blending. And I just quite like patting it down with my finger and then putting a little bit over my lids just to give a bit of a universal bit of colour around my eyes. To cover up any other blemishes that I have, I'm just going to go in with my Lumi Touch, just because I want something quite light that kind of blends in with the foundation. I don't want to kind of hide the illuminating effect of the foundation that I'm wearing. And I'm just going to put a little bit around my nose, down the bridge, and around the sides where I tend to get a little bit of red pigmentation. So I'm just blending that in again with my Zoeva concealer buffer brush. So my base is completely done now, my foundation's all finished and my concealer. Now I'm going to move on to applying my bronzer. I'm using the Bourjois BB Bronzing Cream. Now this I think you can actually use as a complete BB cream, like all over your face, but I'm just not tanned enough at the moment. Maybe if I go on a summer holiday I could probably use it, but for now I'm just going to be using it as a contour kind of bronzing product. Now similarly to my foundation, I apply just a little bit onto the back of my hand. It just makes the product easier to apply, and I'm using my Stippling brush by Real Techniques, and I'm literally just going to dab a little bit into the product. Now I really don't want too much on the brush, so I'm just going to kind of like get rid of any of the excess on the back of my hand. I'm just going to blend it out a bit. Now with this, it does actually smell a little bit like chocolate because it is from their chocolate collection. So if that's not really your kind of thing, maybe this isn't really the product for you. It's quite strong, but I actually don't mind it, to be honest. So I'm literally just applying a bit of the product into the areas where I normally contour. Now, the good thing about having like a cream bronzer, I feel, is that you can really get a natural kind of finish. I just feel it gives a really kind of like sun-kissed glow that you wouldn't necessarily be able to achieve by using a kind of powder based bronzer. I find it's a lot more natural, which I think is quite good for this time of year because you don't want to look too overly bronzed quite yet. So as you can see, I've literally just applied it to kind of like the outsides of my face, just to give that kind of like naturally bronzed look. Next, I'm going to be using some cream blusher. Now, I am actually using the ELF HD blush, which I got relatively recently actually. I haven't really been trialing it for that long. Now, this is really highly pigmented, which is fantastic for me because I love really pigmented blushes. I like having really blush cheeks. But it's really good to use a cream kind of blush if you want quite a natural look. And if you're using like a stippling brush like the one I'm going to use, you can give a really nice kind of flushed look. It doesn't have to be too over the top. So again, like with the other cream products, I'm just going to apply this to the back of my hand, and I'm going to be using the same brush as I did for the bronzer as well. And literally I'm just going to dab my brush in there and just make sure that it's evenly coated. And then we're just going to go straight in onto the cheeks and just kind of dab. Now, the good thing about this blusher is it has a little bit of shimmer in it as well. So it's really, really highlighting, really dewy, which is, I know I've mentioned that word a lot, but that's kind of the look we're sort of going for here. I mean, if you feel like you've got a little bit too much on, you can always kind of blend it out with your finger. That's the good thing about having like a cream blush, is it's really kind of like malleable, so you can really kind of get your fingers in there, move it around a bit if it's not quite where you want it to be. Now, in terms of highlighter, I have a couple of products here. Now, I know I said I was going to use the Touche Eclat kind of more as a concealer, but I've actually decided I think I'm going to use this as a highlighter instead. And as an alternative, I have the Benefit Girl Meets Pearl. I've got a little tester one here, which is fantastic, but I'm thinking I'm going to go for the Touche Eclat just because I've got a lot of quite highlightery products on my face, and this is a really natural highlighter. It's not got too much pigment in it, and it's not too kind of disco ball-y, and I think I've kind of got enough of that on my face already. So I'm literally just going to apply this as you would any kind of normal highlighter down the bridge of my nose. I've already got a bit of product out at the moment, I think, so I don't need to do the pen bit. But yeah, literally just down the bridge of my nose, a little bit under my eyes, because that is where I would normally use it anyway. I cannot do that without opening my mouth, I'm really sorry. I'm going to put a little bit on my chin. Now, I'm actually just going to use my fingers to blend this in, just because I find I have a little bit more control over the product when I use my fingers. Everyone, please don't pay attention to my brows at the moment. They look absolutely shocking. I haven't had them done in so long. I literally hate them. Speaking of brows, I'm just going to quickly fill them in. I mean, it's pretty much the same as always. I always use the same products, and I use my Real Techniques brush just to kind of like straighten them out. And then I use my Soap and Glory Archery pen, which is my go-to for my brows. And actually at the moment, something a little bit different. I'm using the L'Oreal Brow Artist Plumper instead of the Benefit Gimme Brow. I definitely prefer this. You get more product. The products are much easier to apply. And yeah, I just generally prefer it. So there's not really much I can do with them at the moment other than fill in the gaps, which is what I usually do. And then using the Brow Plumper, I just literally comb through them, kind of brushing in upward motions just to make sure that they stay kind of looking a little bit fuller. Moving on to eyeshadow, I'm actually using an old favourite of mine, and that is the On and On Bronze by Maybelline. Now, this is such an old YouTuber favourite. I know everyone raves about it, but it's just so good, and I haven't used it for ages actually. I'm not sure quite why. So with this, it's so quick and easy. I don't even bother with primer anymore because it's just really, there's just no point. So I get my finger, put it straight in the pot, get all nice and messy, and I just literally put it straight on my lid. It's such a simple, easy product to apply. And I've just managed to get it like up in my eye, but that doesn't even matter because when you blend it out, it it's really not a problem at all. It's such an easy product to use. And then to blend that out, I'm going to use my Zoeva Luxe Soft Define It's 227 brush. And literally I'm just going to blend the outside of that, just to give it a really kind of light look. Now, I try and kind of bring the product down a little bit, just to sort of frame my eyes slightly. I'm just going to do the exact same with the other eye. It's so easy to blend this, like it's like minimal effort. So that is my eyeshadow done. I mean, you could easily add to this if you want to get like a dark eyeliner, if you want to go for more of a smoky look. You could bring it down underneath your eyes. You could add some kohl eyeliner to your waterline. It's completely up to you, but I am looking for a really natural look today, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. So I have 3 mascaras here which potentially could be used with this look. The first one is my all-time favourite at the moment, and that is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. I have the Illamasqua one as well, which is Raven, and I have the False Lash Architect L'Oreal Mascara. Now this one is really, really good for length, fluttery eyelashes, ridiculously long, very 4D, which is kind of what they say this is supposed to do. This is a really good all day and also for night mascara, really buildable, easy to get length, lasts quite a long time as well. And this one is kind of all about the volume really, and I would say this would be a good mascara to use if this was a night look. Now I'm actually going to go for the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara today, just because it's so easy to apply and I find that my lashes really love it. And you can kind of have it minimal and the length doesn't look too ridiculous, it doesn't look like you're wearing loads of mascara. Don't you hate it when you get mascara on your eyelids? It is literally the most frustrating thing in the world. Now moving on to lips, I have a couple of shades in mind for this look, but all of the shades that I've got are from the same collection, and that is the Revlon HD Lipstick Collection. Now these guys are absolutely fantastic, such good kind of formulation, and I was also really impressed with the colours. They're really, the only way I can kind of describe them is that they're sort of like same but different. The 3 colours I went for were Hibiscus, which is the peachy colour. I went for Peony, which is the bright pink, and then I went for Rose, which is the really nice kind of better than your lips sort of colour, like a really nice natural colour. So I'm actually going to do a review on these. I'm actually going to do it today, so I'm going to be doing a blog post. I'll do swatches so you can actually really get a good feel for the product and the colours. This is the Rose shade, so really beautiful and natural. This is the Peony shade, and it's just quite nice and bright pinky. And finally we have Hibiscus, which is a beautiful peachy, corally, orangey shade, which I think is the one I'm going to go for this look. So formulation wise, I'd actually say they're quite similar to the Revlon lip butters, but they've just got a little bit more staying power. I personally love the Revlon lip butters just because they are so easy to apply and they're really hydrating, and that's why I really love these lipsticks. To be completely honest, I was expecting these to be a little bit more pigmented. However, I'm more than happy with how pigmented they are. I mean, they're definitely more on the sheer side, and for that reason I think they're probably good for this time of year and really good for this sort of makeup look. But if you're looking for something that's a lot more kind of pigmented and for a going out look, maybe these aren't for you. So this is the final finished look. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I hope it helped you guys and it gave you some inspiration for some transitional spring, summer makeup looks. I hope you guys have a really good rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!